now, and we track close to 5,000 people every time. It's
That's
just
amazing.
a great time. We do that in collaboration with the Brevard Symphony Orchestra, who is our resident orchestra.
How many seats does the main theater hold? 2,000 something?
Yeah, 2,000. Yeah.
And then the smaller studio holds?
About 250 to 280.
Okay.
And although we do a lot of smaller events on the main stage, we market it toward the 800 seats, just the orchestra level seats, because the artists, are no longer big enough to sell 2,000 seats. So we make them an offer they can't refuse to come on in and do a show for 800 seats, and they take it.
Yeah. I'm sure they do.
Absolutely.
Engelbert Humperdinck, was he there, or he's performing?
Well, he was supposed to be there this evening, but he came down with that nasty flu or cold or whatever that's going around. So
what happens at a time like that? If by accident something happens, a performer gets sick. So what happens generally?
We cancel the show.
Okay.
Or postpone it.
Maybe for another time.
We'd prefer to postpone it, and but it really depends on what his schedule is or whatever. If we can't reschedule it, in a reasonable amount of time, we'll just cancel it then at that time.
I wanted to talk about the classic albums live. I hear wonderful things, because I'm a classic rock person. I love it. So I was curious as to know, how do you feel about them? Are you happy with what goes on there? Because I know they do Led Zeppelin. They have just an array of classic rock.
Beatles,
I haven't seen a concert yet.
No, neither have I.
No, I haven't either. I have to go.
You're going to have to go. Both of you are going to have to come out and see it. So I have Autumn here, so just ask her for tickets and we'll set you up with that. But we're very proud of Classic Albums Live. We've been cultivating that event for more than 10 years now. Wow. I think it was 10 or 11 years ago. Colleen Flynn from the Hard Rock Live over at Universal Studios over there called me up and she said, I got this great group. We booked them at the Hard Rock Live and we just want to bring them over to the King Center because we really believe in these guys. They're studio musicians, amazing musicians. So I said, okay, we'll work together on it. So we co-promoted the first Classic Albums Live concert at the King Center. And I'll tell you what, it sold maybe about 250, 300 tickets, a little bit discouraging and whatever. But, if you really want to make something work, you really have to go. So we booked more shows. Mm-hmm. We cultivated that audience. So now we get anywhere between 1,200 to maybe 1,600 people.
Wow.
And
that's phenomenal.
That's
absolutely,
really great.
Absolutely. And when the tickets go on sale to renew their series packages for the summer concert series, they sell out really quick.
And I heard that the artists who are performing are not performing it to their expectations. They go exactly to what the album or that artist that they're imitating sounds like.
Exactly.
It's exactly the same.
Exactly.
Wow,
and
that's got to be pretty awesome.
They Classic Albums Live, and they perform note for note, cut for cut.
That's
right
it,
off
note
the
for
album.
note. I couldn't think of how it was
right off
worded.
the album.
Yeah. Steve, I want to talk to you a little bit about the youth program. I read a lot about it online, and I know you have 4 performances remaining, I think, for this year. And one of them is the Acrobats, right?
You're exactly right.
Yes. What is it that you contribute? Is it just a program that allows children to come? Is it not interactive, right? It's not.
Some of the shows can be interactive, of course, and we do hold master classes and chatbacks. We call them chatbacks for our Theater for Youth series there. And a lot of times, like for Mamma Mia, we'll bring in a big show like that, and we'll invite local drama classes from around the area to come on in, see the show. And the great thing is, after the show, we make arrangements for cast members to come on out and sit and do a one-on-one talk with the students, and they can find out the nitty-gritty on how these people got into the business, whether they like it and whether they want out,
Yes.
So,
wow, that's a great thing to do for them.
It is.
Oh, wow.
So that's right. To me, that's right where the rubber meets the road right there.
Right.
They're really digging in, because the exchange between the performers and the students, that exchange of ideas and questions and answers and everything, you can just see things
absolutely.
turning in their heads, well,
students don't get an opportunity
no,
like
they
that
don't.
at all.
No,
So that's
especially around in this area here. So
you're
definitely.
absolutely right. Now, is memberships available through the King Center?
Memberships are always available at the King Center. Just go online to kingcenter.com. And let me do a little footnote here. Make sure when you go online to kingcenter.com that it is indeed kingcenter.com. It's the official website for the King Center. There are a lot of other scalping sites out there.
Well, I think that might be, excuse me for interrupting, what happened when I researched my material, because I thought it was at the King Center website, and maybe it was not, and that's how come I was
that could
happen, and I apologize for that.
Oh,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no problem.
Usually my information is spot on, so I'm a little upset about that.
Yeah, that's quite all right.
Just do King Center, Melbourne, Florida.
Yeah.
Just make sure you do that.
Yeah,
right?
well, if you do that in the Google search.
Right.
But unfortunately, you'll still come up with these scalping websites.
Really?
So it's a terrible problem in the
horrible.
business and in the industry. And our legislature, they refuse to acknowledge anything to do about it. But I really feel bad when people get caught up in those scalping websites. They purchase tickets for so much more than what you can buy them directly at the King Center, and then they come in and they present their ticket at the front door and they're denied entrance,
Wow.
So
how heartbreaking that must be.
It is.
We need a little bit maybe stricter regulations on that.
Yeah, that would help. But
similar things happen when you're putting in my insurance information, and I called for my husband thinking I was calling a Medicare office, and it was just an insurance company trying to get us to sign with them. And for 20 minutes, I'm on the phone. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is not Medicare I'm talking to? And they're like, no, but we have I'm like, okay, thank you. And I hung up. So I guess it's the same basis.
Yeah, well, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, the scalping tickets, they tried. They went to Washington, a bunch of musicians did, and nothing happened.
Yeah, a lot of things have been tried, but there's I don't see any solution to it in the immediate future at this point in time. But my point is to make sure you're on kingcenter.com. Look up there in the title bar and look out on your browser bar. It should say King Center official website on there.
Now let's get back to the memberships, because I interrupted. I apologize. So memberships are available.
Yes.
And they can call the King Center and get that information?
They can call the King Center or go on our website. Memberships start at $55 and up. Of course,
wow.
There's much higher categories. The more that you invest in the King Center, the more perks and fun stuff you get to do at the King Center that evening.
So now comes my fun questions. Da, 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 da. All right. What, Steve, are some of your favorite or one of your favorite Broadway shows?
Oh, Lordy.
It doesn't have to have that performed at the King Center. It could be just in general, New York or...
I have several favorite shows for various different reasons. Book of Mormon, Aida with the music from Elton John in there. That's a powerful show. If you haven't seen the Broadway show Aida, which incidentally is coming to the Cocoa Village Playhouse in a couple of months. So. Please, patronize, buy tickets at Cocoa Village Playhouse. They do great work over there.
Yes,
so.
She's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Stacey is wonderful.
And earlier you were talking about collaborations. We have a great collaboration that we do with the Cocoa Village Playhouse in partnership to bring our summer musical theater program here to Brevard County. And that this year we've added something new. We've added a summer program. I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks intensive program for the little ones.
Oh, how wonderful.
And then we have the original summer musical theater program, which are for, I think it's high school through mid-college, something like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting you okay.
I'm in college. I'm in college,
You're
too.
in college? Well, there you go.
There you go.
You present your college ID and we'll give you a discount.
All right. And my next question, of course, was going to be local theater. So you just told me you still support local theater.
Oh, gosh,
yes,
yeah.
it's so important.
There's a place in Brevard County for everybody, and
Yes.
the local theaters, the community theaters do amazing work. Titusville Playhouse, Henniger Center, Surfside Playhouse.
Titusville's had some beautiful renovation now.
I haven't
Steve
seen that
Haran
yet.
has done a beautiful job
Beautiful.
there. He really
It
takes
really is
he
gorgeous.
takes
Steve's a good
pride
guy.
in that theater.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I hope to get up there sometime soon and see what he's done up there.
So let me see. Now, you being an executive director for more than 20 years, I'm not dating you. Has there been one embarrassing moment that you'd like to share with the audience?
Embarrassing. Professionally embarrassing, I guess. Well,
have you ever been invited maybe to step out on stage, or you tripped? Nothing crazy,
all these things are starting to pop up in my mind. I can go on for 2 hours about it, but a couple of highlights over the years. I've been there almost 30 years. One of them is we host Bob Hope when he was alive with his lovely wife, and he was really into, I believe, Alzheimer's stage at that time, and very just. It was a difficult night.
Yes.
It was the longest night in show business. That's what I coin it, because he would go up to the front of the stage and believe me, sold out house, veterans, wall to wall veterans there, and people just so glad to see him. And he would start to deliver a joke. He would forget the punchline.
Wow.
And he would stand there at the microphone, turn around, ask his piano player for the punchline, come back and deliver it. So, but that was a long night.
I have a surprise phone call from Don Most from California. Do you know Don Most? He was Ralph Mouth from Happy Days.
Oh, really?
Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
He's a dear friend of mine. He lives in California, and he now sings with a very big band.
Great.
Yeah. Can we say hi here on the phone?
Hello, Eleanor. How are you?
Hey, Don. How are you? What a nice surprise.
Yeah, well, it's good to talk to you.
Good to speak to you. Don, we have here today on my show Mr. Steve Janicki, the executive director of the King Center.
Oh, hello, Steve. How are you?
It's a pleasure to meet you. How are you?
Oh, good, thanks. I'm doing great. It's incredibly rainy here in sunny Southern California.
That's what we see on TV.
Yeah, it's been coming down. So
it's been kind of poopy here too, rain-wise. It hasn't been exactly idyllic weather. A little bit cooler though, but that's kind of nice.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this actually.
So, are you performing this weekend, or anything coming up that you'd like to share with my listeners?
Well, I am performing on Monday, but there's a club out here in L.A. called Rockwell Table and Stage, and somebody asked me to be a guest on their show. So this one's not my show, but I have some coming up next month in Texas and in Michigan. So a bunch of things are coming up, and my new CD, Demos Mostly Swinging,
coming out in February.
Comes out in February. I'm really excited about that. Probably be going on a bunch of TV shows promoting it, that sort of thing.
I did, however, have the opportunity to watch you on the Hallmark Channel when you were on.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was not too long ago.
Yeah, you were on with so many people, though.
Yeah, they were. They
yeah, I didn't like that. Just between me and you.
You should have your own show.
Yeah. I'll have to get my own show going with my own band and all that.
Yeah.
That'd be great. What kind of music do you perform?
I do all the great old standards, sort of in the style of Sinatra and Bobby Darin and Tony Bennett and Dean Martin and Nat King Cole and Joe Williams from the old Basie band. And I've always loved that music. It's what I did before I was an actor, singing up in the Catskill Mountains when I was 14, 15 years old. So I've gone back to, it's been great going back to my sort of first passion, and I'm just having a blast. I've done it with everything from, do it with the big band, but sometimes with even 7 pieces, depending on the situation, all of the above. And I just been loving it. And the record that I did is, I'm really excited about it. It's called Demos Mostly Swinging, because it just came together beautifully, and we'll see where it goes.
That sounds great. I'll get your contact information from Eleanor here.
That's me. I'm his contact.
Oh, you are. Okay, you're his agent. Okay,
Yes.
great.
Just for Florida, though.
Okay.
He has an agent in California.
Let's talk dates.
Absolutely.
Okay, and we'll see if we
Donnie,
can.
I think you're open for that. Yes, dear?
You
Oh
look
yeah,
at-
Yes.
I've heard how beautiful the